Commander Zethkalar had seen enough battles to fill 3 lifetimes. His chitinous exoskeleton bore the scars of countless conflicts across the galaxy, each mark a testament to his survival instincts and tactical brilliance. But as he stood before the assembled war council of the hegemony, his 4 eyes betrayed something his comrades had never seen before. Genuine fear. "You don't understand," Zethkalar clicked, his mandibles chattering with barely contained emotion. "None of you understand what we're truly facing." The council chamber fell silent. Representatives from a dozen species, the proud Altarians with their crystalline features, the hulking Gorvani with their stone-like skin, the ethereal whispers floating in their containment fields, all turned their attention to the decorated Commander Admiral Korath, a Gorvani whose granite face had never shown emotion, rumbled disapproval. "Commander, your recent encounters with the humans seem to have affected your judgment. They are a young species, barely evolved beyond their primitive homeworld." Zethkalar's laugh was hollow, echoing strangely in the vast chamber. "Primitive? Admiral, I've fought alongside them for 6 months on the Kepler front. I've watched them do things that defy every tactical manual in our database." He activated the holographic display, showing footage from the recent battle at Kepler 442b. The assembled council watched as human soldiers moved through impossible terrain, their movements seeming chaotic, yet somehow devastatingly effective. "Look at this," Zethkalar pointed with one of his forearms. "Private Marcus Chen, age 22, standard human, no genetic modifications, no cybernetic enhancements. Watch what he does when his squad is pinned down by Vorthan artillery." The footage showed a young human male, barely out of adolescence by galactic standards, sprinting directly toward enemy positions while his alien comrades, including Zethkalar himself, took cover behind reinforced barriers. "He's running toward, the guns," whispered Lyeth, the Altarian representative, her crystalline form refracting light in patterns that indicated confusion. "Exactly," Zethkalar said. "Every rational being in the galaxy runs from artillery. Humans run toward it. And somehow, they make it work." The footage continued, showing Marcus diving between explosions, his movements seemingly suicidal, yet perfectly timed. Within minutes, the Vorthon position was overrun, not by superior firepower or technology, but by one human's impossible charge inspiring his entire mixed-species unit to follow. "This is madness," Admiral Korath declared. "No," Zethkalar corrected, his voice growing quieter. "This is something far more dangerous than madness. This is humanity." He switched to another file, showing a human female with short dark hair working at a medical station under heavy fire. "Lieutenant Liana Rodriguez, combat medic. I watched her perform surgery with artillery shells exploding overhead. Not just any surgery. She removed a neural parasite from Lieutenant Vostar while Vorthan fighters strafed our position. Her hands never shook. Not once." The council members exchanged glances. Vossitar was a hegemony hero, saved from a death that would have been both inevitable and agonizing. "I've studied their history," Zethkalar continued, pulling up human historical data. "They call it the Great Filter, the theoretical point where most species destroy themselves. Every other species in known space nearly died out during their equivalent period. The Gorvani population dropped to fewer than 10,000 individuals. The Altarians retreated to their homeworld for centuries. The whispers split into fragments and took millennia to reunify." He paused, letting the weight of that sink in. "Humans looked at their Great Filter period and called it Tuesday. They had 2 world wars in 30 years, splitting atoms to build weapons while simultaneously racing to leave their homeworld. They nearly destroyed their atmosphere, then fixed it while expanding to 17 star systems. They don't just survive extinction events, they treat them like inconveniences." The chamber was deathly quiet now. "You want to know the real truth about humans?" Zethkalar's voice dropped to barely above a whisper. "I've fought beside them for 6 months, and I'm convinced they're not from our universe. Nothing in the natural order produces a species that responds to mortal terror with aggressive curiosity. Nothing creates beings who solve impossible problems by attempting even more impossible solutions." He brought up a final image, humans and aliens working together, rebuilding a devastated colony world. They don't just fight differently, they think differently. When we see an insurmountable problem, we calculate odds and develop contingencies. When humans see an insurmountable problem, they grab the nearest tool and ask, what if we tried hitting it really hard? And then, against all logic, against all probability, it works. Admiral Korath leaned forward. What are you suggesting, Commander? Zethkalar met his gaze directly. I'm suggesting that we've been thinking about this alliance all wrong. We keep treating humans as junior partners, as if they're lucky we're letting them join our advanced civilization. He gestured to the images still hovering in the air. But what if it's the other way around? What if we're the ones who are lucky? What if humanity isn't just another species to be integrated into the hegemony? What if they're the key to winning wars we didn't even know we were fighting? The silence stretched for long moments before Lyath spoke, her voice creating harmonic resonances in her crystalline form. What do you recommend, Commander? Zethkalar straightened, his natural military bearing returning. Stop trying to teach humans to fight like us. Instead, we should be learning to fight like them. Because I guarantee you, our enemies are about to discover what I learned on Kepler 442b. When humans decide something needs to be done, the universe has two choices: get out of the way or get steamrolled. He deactivated the display and looked around the chamber one final time. The question isn't whether humanity will change the galaxy. The question is whether we're smart enough to change with them. As the council began to debate, Zethkalar allowed himself a small smile. He thought of Marcus Chen and Liana Rodriguez, probably right now planning something that would horrify tactical experts and somehow save everyone. The galaxy was about to become a much more interesting place.